We'll start formally. Good evening again. We are starting this session, which is introduction to Data 650 for the fall semester. We are here with full agenda. But my mouse is not moving. Okay. So my name is Elena Gorcheva. I'm program director for data science. I've been with UMGC for 20 years and been program director to other program and faculty member. Before that, I work in industry and in academia. My background is computer engineering, which evolved through different subfields in computer engineering, including machine learning. With us today is Professor Ozan and Elena Batinskaya, which is our TA. Ozan, can you say a few words about you?
Yes, Professor. Hello, everyone. My name is Ozan. I have been teaching for more than 20 years and I guess almost 6 years at UMGC. I have taught multiple other courses as well. And, currently I'm working in the IT industry. I'm an agile coach, agile project management coach. And I wish everyone a very successful and productive semester.
I'm sorry, Elena?
Hello, guys. Yes, hello, guys. I hope you can hear me. So I've been in a program with UMGC for about 14 years. And I think I'm not sure if I need to introduce myself. Most of you already remember me from your Data 610 course, right? Or maybe somebody else. Yes. So, okay, I look forward to work with you again. All right, Elena, it's back to you.
Great, thank you, guys. So the agenda today intend to introduce you to the key characteristic to get us started, what to expect of this course, because I feel this course, since it's a little different than all other courses in the program, needs more emphasis, what it is about and what to expect, because many people idea change from the beginning to the end. So we are going to do a quick overview, and of course, we are going to talk about the course expectation and how we are going to perform all activity with technical support, with the software provided, with the cloud, and some miscellaneous activity. So as a rule, please post your question in the chat, and you will have the opportunity to ask more questions at the end of the section. We are going to provide answer to all your questions. In meantime, I'm going to proceed with the presentation and later giving a portion of the time to Professor Ozan and to Elena. As you understand, this class will be taught by two of us, plus technical support from Elena. Ozan in general is going to be more focused in the first half of the class and myself in the second half of the class. But anyway, we are involved totally together in the whole class and trying to give you the maximum experience possible in 12 weeks. So the idea about big data, each of you already have. I don't have. I should not expect that you know already what is this. But I feel responsible to strengthen this and to make sure that we all are in the same page. When we talk about big data, we are not talking, first of all, we are not talking just about the data. We are talking about all technology related to big data when we say big data. It's not just big data. So, of course, the data itself, when we refer to massive data set, big data, is define it as growing in size so much that doesn't is not easy to be managed, stored, and processed with the existing traditional technology. What that means, working with the traditional SQL databases, Oracle, is not possible to handle tera and exabyte data set, because when we talk about data, big data, we talk about this size. But in addition to that, just this size makes difficult the storage, search, and analytics. In addition to that, we are talking the data is from different source and is have different speed. So we need to talk about textual data, images data, and analytical method related with this type of data. So when we talk big data analytics, we are talking about the analytical approach, how the analytical approach you studied up to here differ and have to be adapted when we talk to massive data set like in big data technology. Having said that, that this is not just the data, but the technology related with it in order to manage and store it and do processing and analysis. You understand, since this is technology, not just data, that this has a lot of stuff you didn't study in other classes. It has a certain percentage of engineering focus to what is data engineering, how to engineer the data, because here we have additional problem to the analytic. Analytic is one part, the same algorithm are applied to big data, the one you studied in previous classes. The trick here is how to do this when we talk about huge big data, which imply textual, visual, and size of data, and moving fast, how to apply this same algorithm, what are the different technology we need to study in order to be able to do that. And this is mostly the course about. You will study different technology in order to be able to manage and do analytics with big data. So this is something which every one of you is familiar about the size, how it's growing, just is very illustrative. So that's why I cannot hold myself to show it. The thing is here, when it happened is very important. Was not just the internet, which just the search engine for the internet pages, in addition to all these petabyte produced by different company, talking about Facebook, YouTube, social media, biotech. So all this technology produces this huge amount of data, and of course they rely on the analytic to get insight from this data. So that was the necessity to find a solution to deal with big data and to do analytics on big data. That is what we are talking about in this course. But not only the traditional machine learning algorithm. In addition to that, we need to see what additional technology we need in order to be able to do analytic on big data. So you will have some engineering skill to study here, which actually by industry expert, they are recommended in all level in academia. And we, of course, that's why we have this included in the curriculum. So I really would like to stress in this slide regarding the nature of the data we talk about when we talk about big data is very important that you realize the traditional structured data which are on top of this pyramid are just very small portion of all the data we have to deal today. Most of the data are semi-structured, which are HTML file, or quasi-structured like clickstream from web, or totally unstructured, which is the biggest portion, biggest chunk of data we talk about. Textual and images data, which is the bottom part of the pyramid, and you see just proportionally with the size represent approximately what is this about. So you have, having said that, you should understand that we mostly will be focusing on all these unstructured and semi-structured data in this class, which is actually the challenge to deal with this type of data. And this is what is the nature of big data. So this is a slide you should overview every time you have some concern. This slide will be, this presentation will be shared with you after the presentation today. And you can check what are you data for the project you are doing. Why I'm saying check and why is this important? Well, very important because if you're going to analyze clickstream, you actually don't need to do the algorithm for textual visual information because they have some quasi-structure. So you can rely on this quasi-structure and perform analysis with different methods, right? So that is the point about this type. Try every time you're going to solve a problem to understand what type of data you have and what type of approach you should use in this case. And we are going, of course, to focus a lot on the textual information, but textual information with all the difficulty text has and all the richness natural language has, because understanding natural language is one of the most difficult parts. We as a human talk to each other, and sometimes we don't understand each other perfectly. Let's put it this way. So, and why is this? Because our language is very complex and difficult to understand, and that's why we're talking about unstructured data. So this is a slide borrowed from IBM, and there are some bulleted points which, if you read them, these are just examples to click what is the point. The point is the difficulty to deal with understanding natural language are given by the nature of our language, which is represented with some example here. Or on the bottom, how we can say unstructured data expression, which is if leadership is an art, then surely Jack Welch has proved himself a master painter during his tenure at GE. We usually want to see the data in the structured form to the left. That's not, even if it is possible to put the expression, the sentence in a table, in structured table, as soon as you do that, you lose you are wasting part of the richness of this textual information because you are limited to some structure. The richness of text and of course the difficulty to understand is the complexity. So don't try that. If I'm able to present the data in structured format, I'm going to be working much easier because algorithm, method, approach for structured data, we have studied up to here and we can deal with this. actually the answer is not totally correct because you will be losing a lot of the richness of the unstructured data. So that's why I very want that you understand what we are talking about of natural language understanding. And why is this important? In any company you go today, from small business, restaurant, to big company, to the government, everyone, every company deal with some textual understanding, either to read resume in human resource, to understand email, to understand spam, starting with things are related with the security in our information system, ending to the sentiment employer may have or customer if they will be repeating coming to our restaurant because their experience is excellent or their experience is not so good. So the richness of data and the difficulty to understand the language is, let's say, is proportional to the value you can get of this data for your business. So that's why working with this type of data, mostly the whole semester we are going to focus on this type of data because this is the biggest chunk of big data is actually this. So when I say working, you must understand that for working project in the class, we will be limiting actually the data set in order to make this workable in the short period of time you have to provide conclusion to your project. And sometimes you get the impression, oh, this is not big data. Just the complexity of the text is classifying this as a big data, is the way you have to deal with this data. It's not the traditional way you deal with table and with structured data. But keep in mind, and this is very important point. So how this big data concept, what we are saying is not just the data, is the technology related with this data, how this is related with the hype we are hearing today everywhere, AI, contemporary AI. First, what is contemporary AI? Contemporary AI is like an application which behind has a computer program software which can help human perform better. They are not aimed to substitute totally the human from the loop. At the end of the day, the human is part of the loop in making final decision. For instance, in medical field, we use all this type of application to understand the patient history, to build his clinical history, understanding what disease he has, what are all complex conditions, and decide what is the better treatment for this patient. And we can have program which can recommend, given all the analysis, plot analysis, X-ray, MRI, give the probable best treatment for this patient. At the end of the day, the decision is to the medical doctor. It's not the program, it's not AI which is going to decide that. So how is this related with what we are doing here, and how is it related with the data science, data analytic field? The thing is that big data has evolved so much in the last 10 years that machine learning, algorithm, modeling are empowered with much more data and are performing much better, because when you train your model with more data, you understand that you have the possibility to train the model, then to test the model with more data and different data, and then the implementation is going to be close to the reality. So machine learning has empowered with big data and is the heart of what is contemporary AI. Contemporary AI, the heart of contemporary AI is machine learning. So that's why all these fields intersect, and we are talking about in this intersection where machine learning and classical AI with big data overlap, we are talking about the contemporary AI. So having said that, that means in our field, this is part of what is today the contemporary data science and analytics. And what that means, that we have to study new skills because the employer are going to ask you for more and different skill, not just working with big data, but how you apply this to problems which are considered AI. Why they are considered AI and not data science? Well, you know, AI is defined that is similar to the human behavior, that is similar to the human intelligence. And if the software can do that, the application can do that, we are naming this AI. That is what it is. So I think you are going to start getting the taste that our subject of big data is very close related with what is contemporary AI. And of course, we are going to do some stuff which are directly related with that. So having said that, just to clarify and have no confusion, very visual presentation of the relation of the different subject in data science. The machine learning is, let's say, is inside of the artificial intelligence, because there is not such a thing. Without machine learning, artificial intelligence cannot function, let's put it this way. And of course, deep learning is part of machine learning, which is one type of machine learning. On the other hand, data science include totally machine learning, but artificial intelligence and data science have some separate area which is not exactly overlap. So data science has extra stuff which are not everything we do in data science and analytics is machine learning. So you know that. And that is what I try to represent here, and make sure that everyone understand this relation and understand that what we are going to do in this class is very closely related to what is presented here. So having said that, that means that we are going to abandon things have evolved. Let's put it this way. What I presented in this file, in this slide, and the previous, we were not teaching this 3.5 years ago until actually AI and data science joined together through machine learning. So if you studied more than 5 years ago in the program, you were not learning this stuff. And this is just how our curricula constantly evolve with what is in our life, in industry and technology, and what employers are waiting for from the graduate. Those are the skills the employer is looking for. So having said that, we have to see what different approaches for big data we are going to use, which are different from the traditional approach. In the traditional approaches, this is presented here graphically. We use it, what is the normally business user, define the problem, describe the problem, and ask the IT department to build the information infrastructure which will help to solve this problem. let's say, very close to what is data warehouse. And the IT department is going to take 6 months to build it, and then you are going to start running report. That is more or less the traditional old-fashioned report. This still exists. It's nothing to throw this in the trash. This still exists. The thing is today, we are doing much more with big data, and then we are doing all this in the cloud and in a platform which has all the tools as a data scientist you may need. So to the right is the big data approach, which we are going actually to study based on this, because this is the approach, this is the way big data analytics works. You cannot work a traditional way. So you have first to go to the cloud, because a single computer cannot store all this data and process all these data which are classified as a big data. First, you have to go to the cloud, and then in the cloud, somehow you have to find the different tools you need. Today, they are offered by different cloud provider, and they are offered as a service, which is very easy. And the beauty of this is that you don't need to wait 6 months to get access to the resources, to the software you need in order to solve the problem, which is the problem you have to solve for your company. The IT department has built an infrastructure in the cloud. In most of the cases, this is outsourced service to the cloud provider. Why? Because it's cheaper, and they will be managing this. The cost is lower, and then you as a company can concentrate in the task, which is your expertise, instead to spend additional time in updating software every 6 months, taking care about licenses and installing new version of that software. And this is just you outsource all these services to the cloud provider, and they will be doing for you, and your company even is going to save money. That is the way company work, and that is the way we are going to mimic this work in our class, because we are preparing you for the job which are there, not for the job which were 10 years ago, for the job which are there, and maybe for what is coming. Very important for what is coming, because we cannot predict everything, but very well prepared. And why I'm saying this? Sometimes we ask in the discussion how you perceive this in your future career, you will be using this or the other. And sometimes I'm listening, no, my company unfortunately doesn't have big data. That is okay, not all company has this. That is totally okay, but you are not going to work for this company for the whole your life probably, and you are studying to be prepared for career, for whatever is coming. So that is what we are doing. Big data requires new system, new technology, new software, and new skills. So what you are going to do in this course, on the other hand, is similar to the other classes. We are going to do major project assignment, which is to apply the concept we are studying practically with certain software tool to solve analytical problem. All we are going to do is this way, the same way in other classes. So you will have 4 major assignments and some ungraded and some small graded assignment. What is different here is that in Data 630, you learned a single software, R and RStudio, and that was it. Everything was with them. Here, for each of the 4 modules which culminate with a project, which means 4 different projects, you will have to learn different technology. And of course, this makes the course a little bit more difficult. We have prepared all the walkthrough possible to make this process stream the process so you can learn all this new stuff faster. What is required for you is to understand the difficulty of this. There is no other way to learn big data analytics if you don't learn at least some of the technology. We have selected some of them which are the most relevant to the topic. We cannot teach in 12 weeks all of them, and you understand, and even you don't want to learn all of them in a single 12-week period because they are so many. So that is the difference from other classes. You will be learning every time any new technology. And I wanted to mention that thanks to that, the student in the program, and I'm very proud running this program with the student we have, they participated in several competitions, and they actually show that what they learned in this program is just the top what industry want, and they were ranked in first, second, third place, very well positioned themselves in their competition. And not only me, they were satisfied because then they feel the real value that what we are doing with this hands-on project actually prove that the skill you learned are valuable for employer, because all these competitions are sponsored by different employers. So having said that, I want to go to something which is different view of the course schedule, the one you have in different in presentation, but you have the same thing in the syllabus. What I want to focus here is not in the when the assignment due. I'm going to focus that, having said that you will have to learn different technology, we will have live session like this one. And in this live session, we are going to go over the new stuff in the technology. For instance, for Spark, in week at the end of week 3, beginning of week 4, we are going to have walkthrough. Then we are going to have a session, Q&A live section when we go to the machine learning of Spark. Then we are going to have another live session for the sentiment analysis in memory analytics, which we are going to do for assignment 3. And of course, we are going to have walkthrough for what is the 4th module, which is the cognitive analytic application, will be to build an intelligent chatbot learning. So you will have to build this, and this is the last, I would say, the most interesting and newest part of the course. Is the most interesting. Newest, we have been doing this for 3-4 years already, but still is newest. It's not from the beginning of the program. And every time our students build more intelligent, because they start using different services which make the chatbot, I would say, intelligent agent, more intelligent, learning from different experiences found through the discovery services or other means. What that means is all this is beautiful, but what is required for you is start from day 1 of the module and not wait until then to do the job. So the major assignment, module 1, week 1 and 2, is on HBase, which is part of the Hadoop ecosystem. Then we go to the stream analytic and memory analytic, which is machine learning in Spark, which is another module, which is the most extensive, because we are going to do Spark SQL and Spark machine learning. This is 4-week work. And then we are going to do sentimental analysis in the IBM cloud using losing services of DB2 services in the cloud and everything in the cloud. Just remember the graphic I presented, the today approach for big data. Everything is in the cloud. So the difference, even though you will use similar algorithm, you use it before, everything will be performed with different type of technology. And this course is much about the technology for big data, because what we understand for big data, we cannot separate the technology from the data itself. When we say big data, we understand all both together. That's why you will have to learn a lot about technology, and you will have to dedicate time. The learning technology is not just the traditional learning. You sit on Saturday and you done on Monday with the project. It doesn't work, unfortunately, this way, because it requires time to learn the technology, and you must understand this and work accordingly. And everything will be okay. You will enjoy the class, and you will learn very useful skill. Maybe not for your first job, but I'm totally sure for your career, very useful skill. So I would like to give the word to Professor Ozan. For this part, Ozan, can you hear me? Let's see if he's in me. Yes, coming. Ozan? No.
You could be on mute, Elena.
Well, let's see if I can help with this. No, I cannot unmute him. He has to unmute himself. And I don't see anything in the chat. Do you see something in the chat? Because usually when someone cannot speak, put something in the chat. I don't see anything in the chat. Okay, I'm going to go with this, and when he can. So here is just the grading policy, which is also in the syllabus. What I want to stress is that when you present your project, it's not just the code, your data, screenshot of what you obtain. We focus here also in the deep of your answer, in the analytical deep of your answer, how you interpret what you did, about the method, about the result, about your conclusion about what you did, about future recommendation, about what can go wrong, about what was okay, all these things, and in deep, and in order to be in what is the A grade, A is so the way the assignments are described, at the end you have what is named rubric, and the rubric in general, if you do what is required, is going to give you the high B, like 86, 88. Okay, in order to get an A, you have to go above and beyond, and you have to go in deep interpretation of the result. So this is not different than other classes. I just wanted to schedule to this and give the word to Elena to go about the technology and about the access even to the educational technology. Elena?
Yes, okay. So basically, in some of the weeks, you are using the O'Reilly Books chapters. And when you do that, right, you click on that link, and then you need to select the not listed, click here option, and then you're gonna enter your university email address, and that's how you access the chapter, okay? Easy? Any questions about it?
They already did this and responded in the classroom. So the first student didn't realize this, even is when you go to the library is described, but was not explicitly said, not listed. They already realized this. They exchange idea. Yes.
All right. So then in the classroom, you have that section that's called help with technology and software. So I think most of you are familiar with that form that you're going to fill out, right? You had it in the past semester too. But now the difference is that you have a different semester and you're going to select data 650, right? And always remember to select correct case type. It's a VDA, because if you select wrong case type, I'm not gonna get the case. The Salesforce system has thousands of cases per day. It's got advising, it's got financial aid. You can't even think what's in there. So you have to select the correct case type, otherwise your case will be lost. And I try to answer cases as fast
Here
as I
is.
can. Huh? Yeah.
Here is.
Mhm. Yes. So basically, your question, your case will be answered as quickly as I can. Maybe a few hours turnaround. It depends on the day of the week. I usually go faster on the weekends. But it also will be answered in the order that they were received in. All right. So basically, you know how at the end, when assignment is due, many people need assistance, right? So you will be answered in the order that the case was received in the correct queue. Let's say I received it, because if you put it wrong, if you select wrong choice, then you may have to wait until it's forwarded.
Sorry.
All right. Okay. Oh, and another thing that I forgot to mention, I should not have forget, is this. So suppose that you have a case for you need assistance with IBM Cloud account, right? I helped you. Case will be closed. Next time you need assistance with Spark, you need to, for each issue, you're gonna have to create a separate case, okay? You're not gonna be responding to the closed case. When the case is closed, it's closed. If you need an assistance with something else, different case, okay? Different issue, different case. Got it? Make sense? Okay.
So I want here to say a few stuff, and then we'll give you again the work, Dylan.
Mhm.
So as I mentioned, we are going to work everything in the cloud. Why I stress so much that big data is to be worked in the cloud, because even though you feel, oh, I can fit this and I can do it in my computer, it makes no sense. What you have to learn is the technology in the cloud. And even if you think, well, it's the same thing, computer, it's not the same thing. You have to think that not everything works the same way like in your computer. And you have to follow instruction very strictly, because sometimes, for instance, traditional computer, how it's constructed. You have disk, you have memory, you have CPU, you have a printer. You know all these things. Data go to memory, software code works on the data. But and then the software code works. You close the browser and gone. That is not the way the cloud works. And we are not going to go behind the scene what the cloud provider have in this cloud center. What we are going to stress is that what you are using is service in the cloud. Everything is, you go through the browser and you go to the provider of the cloud, and you, for instance, you activate or you add service to your account. That is you will have to learn a little different language and understand the difference between the adding service, um, closing the service, ending the kernel. All these terms you will have to learn and follow. Sometimes you think, oh, I click and nothing happened. Well, this is cloud. This is not happen. Nothing is instantaneous. Think about this goes and go to several servers, and let's see your request for service where it goes. When you work in the cloud, you share resources. You share with me, you share with your colleague, you share with the person for Booz Allen who is working in this cloud. with everyone, because in the cloud we are working is industry people who are having contract with the cloud provider, are academic people from other university, is we, but the point is cloud is shared resources. It doesn't work like your personal computer. So nothing is instantaneous. This has to go. It has to allocate between the shared resources. How many people are there simultaneously, and give your slice of these shared resources. So you must understand that there is no magic. You hit enter and done. You have to wait sometime. Sometime you have to wait up to 10 minutes. We are saying this in the instruction, but you have to pay attention. You cannot expect the thing will happen instantaneously, and you hit enter and again, and then what happens sometimes is a disaster because you kill the service and it cannot be added again until certain things happen in the cloud. So my point is you have to pay close attention, understand, and you will learn, because this is not such a thing that you will learn how to work in the cloud during all this semester, and you will learn more and more and more. The only way to learn correctly is follow the instruction strictly, very strictly. So we will be using mostly platform as the IBM Cloud and certain services in the IBM Cloud. We will be using Python, R, and SQL in the cloud, everything in the cloud, including Spark Stream. We are going to use Spark in memory analytics and the wide columnar database DB2 for one of the projects, which is sentiment analysis. So having said that, my point is that you will have time to learn, but it's very important to explore and make sure that you follow instruction. For instance, in the cloud, I have something here. I have to go over all the steps and close the services and any running environment and all this. If I close the browser, that has no effect. Your account still is consuming capacity hour, which is the allotted computing time, because each account in the cloud, since these are shared resources, has a allotted computational time, which is named capacity hours. So your account, when you create it, will get capacity hour, which are reset at the end of the month. What you get is for the month. Every new month, you will get more resources and more resources. My point is, be mindful when you work in the cloud, and never think that I'm closing the browser and done. And if something is running, there are two places where you can go and see when you start learning the cloud, you have your account, where you can check if something is running and how to end this running process before closing the browser. And all this happened because cloud is different. These are shared resources, okay? Here I have some screenshot of the different software environment, different cloud environment we will be using for different projects. And even we will be using services of something very famous years ago, if you remember the IBM Watson, which IBM built this supercomputer, artificial intelligence, and won the Jeopardy game against the two major player, the top winner, Watson won. So after that, what IBM did, nobody has the money. This was proof of concept of intelligent, what intelligent computer can be built. Then they deployed this as a separate services in the cloud, totally accessible and very reasonable price, and for us for free to work with them. And we will be working with this for the intelligent agent. You will be building in project 4, which are the new version of Watson, which are different services. So, Yelena, you.
Well, sometimes I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but I have to tell you that. First of all, you cannot do most of these assignments in one sitting, okay? So do not wait until the last day, please, please. Then do not submit any tickets to the IBM, because the only person who can help you is faculty and myself, because they don't know what your homework is. You know what I'm saying? So please, please use the Salesforce to submit your tickets. Another thing is important. Do not enter your credit card information, because this cannot be undone. And you not only be responsible for the charges, but you won't be able to get assistance, because we are not dealing with paid account. We are dealing with academic account, okay? So once you put the credit card information, that's it. You're done. You see what I'm saying? There's no way to undo this change, okay? Now, please do not deactivate your IBM Cloud account. You cannot undo it, and you're not gonna get new feature code, right? And also, don't let your account expire. So what you could do is go to your calendar, set up a reminder in December to obtain another code, and you're gonna get access for another year. Some students like to use their account in a Data 670. So what you could do, as long as you have your student email active, you can keep on getting the new code. In December, maybe mid-December, second part of December, go get another code and apply it, right? Should be very easy to apply another code, and you get access for another year. Because once your account is expired, there is no way to reinstate it, okay? So that's what you have to do, okay? And well, I call it 24-hour rule. So if I have an assignment due, I aim to finish it 24 hours before it's actually due. That's how I did in the grad school. Okay. So because you don't want to wait until the last, you may have a last minute crisis, like there is a big storm, you lost the power, anything else happens. At the end, your code stops working because we're trying to hurry up, and you're unable to focus, and etc. So we want to avoid this. Try to get your work done one day ahead of the due date. Okay. Now there are ungraded exercises, and the goal is to help you with graded assignment. But I'm gonna give you this little secret, okay? But don't tell it to anybody who is not here and to anybody who is not listening to the recording. Your ungraded exercise may later, it could repeat as graded. So for example, you have like a small assignment and it has some ungraded exercises. On the next big assignment, you're gonna see a similar question, but maybe on different data, all right? You want to spend necessary time on each lesson. You want to pay attention to course announcement, and also it might help you to, if you have not done it already, you may set up the notification. So each time when instructor posted an announcement, you may choose to receive an email if it's easier for you to check your emails and to access the system. Well, that way you're gonna get an email when there is an announcement, right? Yes, it's okay. Okay. Now, you want to submit the Salesforce cases. Don't wait. I don't want you to be spending several days on a code error, okay? And here are just general guidelines where to post your questions. So if you have a question, generally like a due date, non-software related questions, question about the syllabus, you're gonna post it in a classroom. Then also there is a separate discussion for to report the broken link. Once in a while things happen, you report it, it will be fixed, okay? What is the Salesforce for? Well, you could have some IBL cloud account issues, such as you having a problem with applying the feature code. You need some assistance with launching the services. You could have some code errors that need the troubleshooting. You may need help with ungraded exercises. Well, then there could be some questions that require the screen share, right? So that question cannot be addressed in the classroom. The question requires a screen share because see the issue that causes you to get an error may be different from your classmate, right? So if there are major discrepancies between instructions and software interface, then you can let us know. But things like a different background, different button shape, it's not considered the difference, right? What the difference is if it requires the different major steps, but changes to the cloud are ongoing as we speak. So do not expect to see the same interface as in instructions, all right? But you will see something similar. Now, this one is questions. If you have a question about your grade or any confidential information such as accommodations, or maybe like you need an assignment extension due to unforeseen circumstances, this is something you need to email your faculty directly. But one thing to keep in mind is this. Suppose that you get an extension, right? Suppose. But the thing is, what could happen is there could be some changes in technologies after the assignment is due, especially assignment 3, where you're going to be using RStudio in the cloud. Sometimes, well, suppose that you get an extra couple days. You never know. Maybe one day before your extended due date, there could be a change to the RStudio image in the cloud. Who knows, right? And if the image changes, then you may have to adjust the code because new image could be different packages are available, different packages need to be installed, etc. So you want to be aware that if you're getting an extra time, there is a possibility that there could be some major changes, right, to the interface and also to the technology before your extended due date. And also keep in mind that the work in this course piles up. Before you know it, we're going to be midway through semester. So please try to keep up, okay? It's important, you have to keep up. Trust me, I was a graduate student before, okay?
Thank
And
you so much, Helen. Well, I think Ozan appeared. No.
Yes,
Okay.
Professor, I'm here.
Well, we were asking for you before that, but we already reached the end. Anyway, if you want to say something, please say.
Yes, sure, Professor. I just want everybody to, read the announcements very carefully and read also assignment descriptions very carefully. Please submit on time, and every day has at least 5 points for the assignments. So please submit assignments on time and read the descriptions very well. For the discussion boards, please be active. Post your discussion boards at the beginning of the, as soon as we have these weeks and we have those discussion boards, and try to read discussions as much as you can and try to respond them as much as you can. That's all I have, Professor.
Thank you. Now, all the stages, your question, we are here to answer any of them. I don't see anything in the chat, but you can unmute yourself if it calls.
So, hi, this is Yogesh. So, I was just downloaded the assignment one. Can I ask the question related to that?
Sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, assignment one is there's no actual code, right? It's all pseudocode. I think we need to put.
Only
it-
pseudocode, only pseudocode.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Yes. Assignment one is just, this is over some, and that is, I'm glad you asked this question, so give me the opportunity to explain something which I missed.
Thank you.
So, so the topic from week 1 and 2, which is Hadoop, big data in Hadoop ecosystem, this is very extensive topic. You understand how much we can understand in 2 weeks. So that's why we are going to study all the component of the Hadoop ecosystem as much as we can. Of course, mostly the key component, which is Hadoop distributed HDFS and MapReduce. All other are additional, and we selected just one component, which is very important from all this technology that you will have to learn more about HBase, because actually there is no, and you will do a practical assignment in HBase writing pseudocode, okay? And follow the instructions. So, and in every other assignment will be the same thing. The topics are so broad, we just select something which is relevant from the topic to do practically. But that is not all. We have to learn everything around as much as we can. Any other question? In this first 2 weeks, there is a lot to do in the discussion and to discuss and to straighten your understanding about the big data, the technology to deal with big data, and all this stuff. Never seen a group so shy. Here is it. Great. Nia is excited about the course. Great. Hope you will enjoy it. I don't want to call anybody if they are not questioned, actually. Well, if there are not more questions, I will stop the sharing and still can answer question if there is any. And if there are not more questions, we are ready to answer when you start working. The question will arrive, of course. Elena, you want to say something?
Me?
No.
No. Two words
No.
of advice. Two words of-
Okay.
two words of
Okay.
advice. Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck to everyone. Hope you enjoy and you learn a lot. And have a nice evening today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.